In today's ugly news, we have another celebrity launching another skincare brand, but this time for toddlers. Rhode is making record-breaking sales after being bought out by e.l.f, and Dua Lipa, of all people, is entering the skincare world. And I'm kind of interested, I'll be honest. Now, I've not done ugly news for a while, but there have been so many things I want to talk about in this week alone. So let's start off with Shay Mitchell launching a skincare line for kids. And we're not talking about the Sephora teens. We're not talking about, you know, the drunk elephant loving teenagers, preteens, and not even tweens. We are discussing toddlers here. Shay Mitchell, who I know from, Secret, what's that one? Pretty Little Liars. Actress, she owns a luggage brand as well. She has just announced her skincare brand called Rini, which is specifically made for children, not teenagers, kids. According to Shay Mitchell herself, the idea for this new toddler skincare line came after she was struggling to remove face paint from her daughter's face after dance camp. Apparently the makeup wouldn't come off, and it made her realize that there aren't many skincare options out there designed for little kids. A cleanser would have been fine, a cream cleanser, a gentle cleanser would have been absolutely fine. An oil cleanser would have done the job. But listen, instead of doing that, she decided to make her own skincare line. Every skincare brand needs a backstory, right? They say the name Rini actually comes from a Korean word meaning child. I think the correct name is Orini, not Rini, but I don't know. With the brand's tagline being where skincare and play meet innovation. And she's actually co-founded this brand along with her good friends, basically like longtime friends. And it's aimed at kids aged 3 and up. 3 and up. In a video on Instagram, Shay says that her daughter Atlas always wants to copy her, basically, and one day was asking, where's her mask, basically, when Shay was using her own. So Shay Mitchell tried to find her daughter a sheet mask that she felt was appropriate for her, and apparently was shocked by the ingredient list and the fact that her daughter couldn't use any of these, so she couldn't join in her mother doing her skincare. So she was like, I'm gonna make like a safer alternative for kids. Now this initial launch comes with 3 different products, 2 hydrogel masks, a hydrating one and an after sun version, which I don't think is actually that bad. I'll discuss my personal opinions in a minute, but also a set of animal themed sheet masks with like puppies, unicorns and pandas on, with prices ranging between $5.99 and $6.99. So at least they're actually kind of affordable in comparison to what like adults are actually paying for their skincare, which is interesting. And each mask follows the usual celebrity skincare trope of fragrance-free, dermatologist tested, made with over like 95% natural ingredients, you know, which I'll say, I don't think I love the idea of putting too many natural extracts on a child because they're not as gentle and good for you as a lot of people presume they are. With the hydrating mask, including vitamin B12 and red algae, and the after sun versions, including aloe vera, chamomile, and wild yam, they all kind of target barrier support, soothing, moisturization. I will say pretty simple skincare ingredients, right? Nothing crazy, which is kind of perfect for this. Everything is made in Korea because of course it is, and clinically tested with an irritation index of 0. I don't know how clinically sound that is, and if you can really test something within an irritation index, but on paper, it sounds harmless, right? The formulations sound very, very gentle. I actually think the after sun mask is in general a good idea, especially with kids playing outside, adults outside all the time in hot weather. I think having a hydrogel mask that you can apply to soothe down skin for any age is actually quite a nice idea, and maybe something quite good. I actually quite like that idea. But skincare for toddlers, preschoolers, I believe it would be in America. I think that's where myself and a lot of people are drawing this line. And the comments online are actually pretty split. Some parents are actually pretty excited to have something they can safely share with their kids, which I do get. I do think this whole kids wanting to do skincare thing is just a very scary modern version of wanting to play pretend. You know, we would play in fake kitchens, what did I used to do as a child? Play imagination, play pretend in various different jobs, right? And I think this whole playing pretend of like an influencer, doing your parents' skincare routine, you know, like kids would want to do their mum's makeup back in the day, play with their makeup, all that kind of stuff. It's just like a modern version of that, but with, I guess, more real world implications if they use something that's not good for them because they don't need it. I think that's the thing. At the end of the day, these kids do not need this skincare. A lot of people saying this is like the consumer final boss, which is like the buzz term at the moment, with with a lot of people engaging in more consumerism than they actually think. But honestly, it's a fair question that keeps coming up time and time again. Do children really need a sheet mask? Probably not. They're very dehydrated, sun damaged, maybe they've got very, very dry skin, you know, a bit of very simple moisturizer. I actually think the aloe hydrogel mask is a very nice idea to cool things down. But do they need a whole skincare line? I don't think so. But as I mentioned, this taps into a much bigger, almost like cultural shift that we're seeing. Beauty rituals becoming a family activity and the normalization of skincare as play, or playing as an influencer, playing dress up, but with real products. And whilst it's cute, I think, to watch your kid copy you and your routine, that's fun, right? And that's a nice bonding experience. I do feel like this early implication of teaching your kid how to treat and fix skin that doesn't need any treating or fixing. Kids have the perfect skin for no reason. Like, I wish you had acne as a kid and then your skin just got better, but they don't need anything done. I mean, for now, this range looks a lot more playful than problematic. I do think, in all fairness to Shay Mitchell, a hydrogel mask that's hopefully not dripping in a serum is pretty harmless in comparison to what a lot of toddlers and preteens were using. Part of me is like, you know, teach kids early, get them into a good routine, show them that it's self-care rather than something they have to do because there's something wrong with them. But then the other half of me is like, the kids shouldn't have to worry about this. I mean, they're not worrying about it, they're finding it fun, but is this teaching them bad habits for getting older? Do you know what I mean? It's just not needed, right? It's not needed. Excuse everything going on. This is the next day after filming, and I've had to come back to this topic. Speaking of Shay Mitchell's new skincare line for toddlers, not even kids. And kind of like looking back at what I was talking about and looking back at my script and everything, it seems like I'm unfazed nowadays by the fact that children are using skincare, wanting to use skincare. So much so, unfazed so much so that the fact that this is a toddler, 3 years and up, wanting to use skincare didn't faze me at first, but I've been sitting with this, and this image in particular, which I actually like reposted back onto my stories, which looks like an advert for the brand. And this has had me spiraling all night. No joke. I have been thinking about this image nonstop. Just for a little bit of context, because I'm going to sound crazy here, but my actual education is in editorial and advertising photography. So that's advertising photography for brands, magazines back in the day, all that kind of stuff. And this picture evoked so much for me, more than an article can ever do, more than, you know, what other people's opinion can ever do. This picture for me just said everything it needed to say. I know this is meant to be a nice picture of a toddler wearing one of the hydrogel masks, but to me, and I'm probably just reading it into it too much because of the education that I have from photography, but this literally looks like a prison. The suffocating pressures and the prison of having to live up to these standards, especially for girls at such a young age and into women. For some reason, this image it's so, what's the word? It's God, I'm trying so hard to kind of like say how I'm feeling without sounding over dramatic. To me, this image is so unnerving. It's so unsettling. I just had a sense of dread when I saw this image. Yes, I think doing cute things with your parents, doing you're doing skincare with mummy or daddy, whatever, is cute. It's cute. It's fun, playing pretend, whatever. But it's more than that. This isn't like trying on your mum's lipstick without her knowing. This isn't like, putting like a little bit of blush that washes away on your child so they can play dress up with you, not trying on your mum's shoes or whatever. Shows the kind of upbringing I had. These are products with ingredients in that chemists spend a long time making sure they penetrate your skin. These are products that are supposed to fix things. These are products that are supposed to change the way you look in a certain way permanently. These are products that tell you that there should be a certain goal that you should have for your skin. And to have that at such a young age, and I know this is it's probably like, they're just playing pretend. It's just so they can have something fun to do when mummy's doing it. Buy one of those expandable paper sheet masks and put that on their face with water, or a reusable silicone sheet mask and let them play with that whilst you're doing your actual sheet mask. How the skincare world has gone from something that was done to help correct certain insecurities and flaws and, you know, change this and done blah, blah, blah. That should never be something for kids. The reason we have skincare should never be for kids, unless they got eczema, you know, unless they're really suffering from transepidermal water loss, which I know quite a few toddlers can do, fungal infections on the face, you know, unless they're really suffering from something, there's no reason for any child to be using skincare because of what skincare represents as a whole in a commercial aspect, right? Sunscreen, absolutely. There's something darker about this. There is something so dark about this. And that image, I just feel like it perfectly represents the pressures that young girls go through, younger and younger and younger nowadays with social media and, you know, brands literally targeting their insecurities, which they shouldn't have at a young age. And I know these products in particular, don't really target anything. The After Sun one, I still think is a great idea. It's a hydrogel mask, which I believe is used anyway in like the medical field to help cool things down. I think that's actually a great idea if somebody's feeling sunburnt, sun flushed or whatever. It's a nice cooling thing, right? But I just don't think there's any need. I don't think there's any need. And not to be like, think of the kids, think of the children, but it's just so unnecessary and what's the word? Dystopian. I think it's just so bizarre to see, like, it's on a level of for me of like a kid sitting there with a cocktail doing like, it's the weirdest. Like, I don't know, it's not, no, that's silly. Do you know what I mean? There's something about, this is why I'm a creative and not like a, you know, I can't get my words out. It's so early in the morning. I'm so sorry. I just needed to vent a little bit and say this. It's predatory. It's so predatory. It's not something that needs to exist ever. And if you want to play pretend with your parents, there's other ways of doing it. I don't think toddlers need a skincare line. I think bath products and shower products are great for kids, like a little bubble bath, you know, make nice things for kids when it comes to that. But like, I don't know, it's just bizarre. It's very, very bizarre. And I'm kind of surprised by how unfazed I was when I first saw this. I was like, a celebrity doing something stupid? Of course. Kids want to use skincare? Of course. That's what the world has come to. That's what the skincare world has come to. But the more I sat and thought about it, and then that image just, for some reason, threw me over the edge. And I hadn't come across that image and I don't know why. I believe it's literally one of the only images. Hang on. When I was filming this, there was only one video on the brand's Instagram, and I believe this was an image that Shay Mitchell posted herself, which I'm not following Shay Mitchell. Maybe I should have had a look, but I was mainly looking at the brand, and it's just bizarre. Like, I'm looking through some of the comments. The vast majority of people are like, this is sad, this is weird, missing the mark. Do kids need skincare? Children do not need this kind of skincare. Extra consumerism for children, vomit inducing, this is awful. I would actually say the vast majority of comments are just no. And I do just find it weird. Like, the kids' sheet masks have always been a thing, right, with the little designs on it. But even that, I'm like, and then this whole made in Korea thing, like they're trying to, it's just a mess. I think this is one of the worst celebrity skincare launches ever. It's bizarre. Make of that rambling what you will. I'm a visual learner, so I could have read people's different opinions. I could have been like, oh yeah, I see that. But to see it represented like that in an image that struck a chord with me and made me read so much into it has just really hit home for me, in the sense of like, I knew this was shit. I knew this was bad and this shouldn't exist. But the dread that image filled me with, and then made me think so many other things and set my mind spiraling for literally 24 hours. First this, then what? You know, Rhode is doing really fucking well. Another celebrity skincare line, but very different. Rhode is absolutely dominating the skincare world right now, shitting on everyone, and now officially part of the e.l.f. beauty empire. They're literally going from strength to strength. And I'm saying this as somebody who maybe isn't the biggest fan of their products, but really I do respect their products. I respect their marketing. I respect the things they're coming out with. If they can ditch that clean messaging, I think they're pretty much a near perfect celebrity skincare launch. In e.l.f.'s latest Q2 2026 financial results, they reported a 14% increase in net sales, hitting 343.9 million for the quarter. That's the company's 27th consecutive quarter of growth. Like, that's crazy. But Rhode is a huge part of that success. As we know, e.l.f. acquired Rhode earlier this year for a massive 1 billion. Felt like Rhode hit that 1 billion mark so quick, but clearly it's paying off for them. Sorry, I'm still a bit blocked up and a bit nasally. I'm struggling to talk and breathe at the same time. Rhode very recently launched in Sephora stores across the US, and it made $10 million in sales within just 2 days. To put that into perspective, that's nearly 40% of Sephora's total sales during that launch period. And the brand has completely kind of like reshaped Sephora's sales mix, pulling customers from competitors like Laneige, Summer Fridays, and Caudalie. According to data from Yipit Data, around 60% of Rose Sephora shoppers were already Sephora regulars, as you'd expect. But the other 40% came from places like Ulta, Target, and even Rhode's own website, which means Rhode didn't just add to Sephora's customer base, it stole shoppers from everyone else. That's a big deal. And in the US, e.l.f.'s revenue grew by 18%, while international sales increased by 2%. The company now expects annual sales for fiscal 2026 to reach around 1.55 to 1.57 billion. Even though their adjusted net income is predicted to drop slightly, what I find so fascinating is how Rhode have kind of gone from a celebrity skincare line that was kind of like frowned upon, kind of felt like a TikTok shop brand, you know, kind of in line with like P. Louise. No, that's an insult. Not like that. But you know what I mean? Everyone was like, oh, another celebrity skincare brand, to a massive, well-respected, very successful skincare brand. And they've done it so seamlessly. It's been fascinating to watch. This report, which I got from businesscosmetics.com or something, I'll link everything down below, calls Rhode Sephora debut a case study in how social capital and celebrity influence can fuel retail disruption. Basically, the brand turned a viral TikTok moment into real world physical sales, which a lot of viral skincare brands can't do. They really can't do that. They are struggling to achieve that. I'm honestly so interested, just from somebody who is a skincare enthusiast, to see where this is going to go from here. Is this just a temporary thing? Because everyone's been so excited for Rhode to become more easily accessible. I believe they're launching in the UK too, and Sephora's across the UK. Is this the initial buzz of people being like, oh my God, I can finally test Rhode, and then it's going to die down? Or are these going to become staples in everyone's routines, and those sales are just going to keep increasing and increasing? We need to see if that retention makes this the iconic brand it could be. Honestly, I feel like they've already proven that Rhode isn't just a celebrity brand. It's a real, well-established prestige skincare brand. And honestly, I think it's going to be up there with Fenty and Rare. Another celebrity skincare brand? Dua Lipa has entered the skincare world with her own skincare line, DUA, created in collaboration with the luxury skincare giant Augustinus Bader. I think that's how you pronounce it. I pronounce it different every time. Yes, Augustinus Bader, home of the infamous £150 face cream or serum or whatever it is, which I'll be honest, I absolutely love their products. They are just so expensive. So when I saw this line, the products and the price points, I was like, actually, I'm interested. That's not to say that the products are affordable. Let's get into the products. This initial lineup includes just 3 products: the Balancing Cream Cleanser at £32, the Supercharged Glow Complex Serum at £65. It's getting more expensive, right? And the Renewal Cream at £60. And they say that each formula uses a new painted complex called TFC5, which is basically a gentler, more preventative version of Bader's infamous TFC8 ingredient. And I'm guessing cheaper? Designed to support skin barrier health, hydration, and elasticity for younger skin types. Dua Lipa told British Vogue that she came up with the idea of this skincare line after years of touring and wanting a skincare routine that was simple, effective, and travel-friendly. She said that back in her early 20s, she was constantly touring with a bunch of boys who didn't do skincare, and realized how much her own skin needed consistency, not necessarily more steps. Which is great, good, yeah. And basically the whole range reflects that philosophy: clean, easy to use essentials that feel elegant but not excessive. The cream cleanser is this cream to foam formula, a cleanser, that removes makeup and SPF without stripping. The serum contains vitamins B5, niacinamide, plus marine bioretinol and ectoin for strengthening and for a natural glow from within. And the moisturizer is designed to deeply hydrate, smooth fine lines, and reinforce the skin barrier. It looks like it's basically Augustinus Bader, but with simplified ingredients and slightly more affordable. You know, while those products can easily does hit the triple digits, even for like a tiny travel version. Dua Lipa's range sits between 30 and 65 pounds, which for that brand is almost budget friendly, right? It's not budget friendly, but for, I guess, the ingredients and the technology they're promoting and the brand name, it's a budget version, I guess you can say. Dua Lipa says she wants to make something restorative, but still easy to travel with, calling 3 the magic number. I mean, I don't hate this. It's minimal, which I don't love for me, but for everybody, minimal is perfect. It seems pretty intentional and does seem well thought out in my opinion, especially compared to the endless celebrity lines that we've seen recently. And here's the thing, from what I know, Dua Lipa has the right connections. It's very easy to see who she works with when it comes to the beauty world, and I feel like she's got the right amount of knowledge as a consumer to be able to work with the right people to create something that is easy and convenient and good. This is the thing, is I don't love a celebrity skincare line, but I also don't love the idea that only dermatologists, cosmetic chemists, and people who work within the industry are able to launch a skincare line. I don't like that idea. I think that's ridiculous, seen as like The Ordinary and Pixie, 2 of the biggest skincare brands in the world, arguably, weren't founded by dermatologists or anyone within the industry. It's good marketing meets the right team of people, and I feel like that's what this is. Do we need another celebrity skincare line? Absolutely the fuck not. Am I interested in this? I'm probably gonna buy it for review reasons, and also the fact that I love Augustinus Bader, unfortunately, because the prices are ridiculous and you do not need to pay so much money for good skincare. But this feels like a more affordable version. I don't know, there's just something, you know, when like something doesn't make sense when it comes to celebrity, like why? Like Trisha Paytas. Skincare, what? Dua Lipa, not that they're on the same level, but Dua Lipa makes sense to me and I can't quite put my finger on it, but it makes sense to me and I'm very, very interested. I think pairing this with Augustinus Bader actually was the right move. I think it gives the brand that instant credibility, whether you believe the science behind it or not, rather than just it being another celebrity with a face at the right moment, stick on your brand kind of thing. So that's this week's very quick roundup. Toddlers in sheet masks, Hailey Bieber casually just boosting e.l.f. beauty into the billion-dollar levels, and Dua Lipa creating a skincare line. That honestly, to me, actually makes sense. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I feel like celebrity skincare lines are always very polarizing. I think Shay Mitchell's Rini is a little dystopian for me. Yeah, I don't know. It's just very, very unnecessary. Now let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let's have a chat, because I do feel like I'm split with a lot of these. I can't quite make up my mind. You can watch some When Beauty Turns Ugly videos here. It's in general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.